I'm going to highly recommend that you watch this video, because what we're going to talk about and show you in today's video can happen to you if you own a CF Moto. It doesn't matter if it's a C-Force, Z-Force, or U-Force. It can happen to you, and we're going to show you and tell you how to prevent it from happening. This C-Force 600 is a 2019, and age really does take into account here. However, this can happen to you at any time with your machine. This CF Moto 600 has just above 1,000 miles on it. And what we're going to talk about might surprise you, because it's something that you really don't think about every day. And I want to bring it to your attention so you do check it before you go ride. I suggest you check this before your next ride, even if your machine is brand new, and I'm going to explain why. This scenario has actually happened to me on my wife's Z-Force 500. It happened to us about a year and a half after owning it. And what we're going to show you right now is the intake boots. Now, what this customer found was his motor ended up ingesting dirt because of this. So it needs a top end rebuild. He brought it here, not running. I was able to get compression in it and get it to run, but it still needs a top end rebuild. We was able to sell him parts necessary to take care of this issue. I shoved an inspection camera down into the cylinder, and the walls were actually in pretty good shape. So I told him he could probably get by with just piston rings, but he won't truly know until he actually gets in there and sees. So we have inventory of all these parts that he needed and got him fixed up. With that said, this machine had 60 PSI of compression.
Went from 60 to 95.
Oh, went up a little.
Yeah.
I got it to go from 60 to 90, and then we got it to run, and I'm estimating that it might have bumped up to about 110, 120, simply because it ran. And it did seem to clear up and clean up and ran pretty good. But further inspection inside the cylinder was dirt ingestion. There was remnants of dirt on top of the piston, but the walls were fine. However, I think whatever dirt got in there, which he said they ride in a lot of iron ore dust. So I think whatever he got in there just stuck the rings and didn't really score the walls. But then again, I wasn't looking with my eye, I was looking with a camera. So we won't know until he gets that top end pulled off of there. But guys, you can prevent this, because what happened to him, this guy maintenances his machine, takes really good care of it, really looks after it, so it definitely wasn't abuse. And I can show you right here that it was intake boots that were ripped. Not only was the intake boot where the throttle body goes on, but it was also the long boot that goes to the airbox. So this thing was eating dirt for some time now, and he's not sure when. He found it when it stopped running, and his dealer sold him an ECU, they sold him a fuel injector, they sold him a fuel pump, and none of that stuff was the problem at all. It was just low compression the whole time. So he asked me if he could drive 6 hours. He lives 6 hours away. Asked me if I would help him. He's had this thing down since October, and I finally had some time in my schedule. I wanted to help him and get it figured out at least. And sure enough, we actually got it to run, and it runs pretty good.
1,500 RPMs.
Well, it came here not running. It's leaving here running. He's gonna try and load it up. Right in there. Again, with that said, he needs a top end rebuild. But I want to make sure you guys check this stuff all over before you ride, because this will happen to your Z-force, your C-force, your U-force, all of that. It will happen to those machines. And to prevent that is check it. Check it all the time. If your rubber starts getting hard or just any sort of messed up, replace it. Otherwise, you're going to be like him, rebuilding a top end that he really doesn't want to rebuild. Now, the parts don't cost that much. I think he had $300, and that was, like extra gaskets that he didn't need. That was timing chain tensioner and just a few things. So it's not that much money, but it is time consuming and something that you really don't want to do. It's way easier to change those intake boots than it is to pull an engine apart. It just simply is. And then when he gets in there, he doesn't know, what other parts he may need. He could need a jug for all we know, but we won't know until he gets in there. But guys, I wanted to bring this video to you just as a warning and information for you to make sure this doesn't happen to you. We were going to record it, but I was just really into trying to figure out what the problem was. We put a compression tester on it, and boom. At first he didn't have fuel. And the problem with that was the little starter solenoid. The wires were all melted together, and it caused a short, right? So this was just a bunch of problems in one, really. But I was able to get that fixed for him. And then we got fuel, and it still wouldn't run. That's when I decided to check the compression, and, well, found it at 60 PSI. I put my Juju juice in there and got it to bump up to 90, and then we got it to start. It actually started, and then we let it run, and it cleared right up. I mean, it actually ran really good and seemed like it had some power. Alright guys, I just wanted to bring this video to you. Just a short one for you guys. I really appreciate you if you stop by the website rngperformance.net. Get any of your CF Moto parts, accessories, and needs. I truly appreciate you if you hit smash that thumbs up button. Leave us a comment down below, because I guarantee you a bunch of people are going to check them boots now. Also hit that subscribe button if you will. Peace out. God bless. And we'll see you in the next one.